I'm Amir from ARMO, and ARMO is the company behind Kubescape. What we do is we do Kubernetes security. And I'm going to show you in the next few minutes how you can use ARMO in your environments, okay? It's pretty straightforward. If you go to Git, you can see our project, which is called Kubescape. You just go down here, you copy this line, you go to any environment that has kubectl on it, and you just run it. And in few seconds, you have Kubescape installed. Now, if you want to see some scanning results, you just need to run this command. Actually, I'm running it in verbose mode. Okay, I'm running it in verbose mode, so the output will be much more than the regular output. I will show you how it looks when you run it in a regular output. But you can see that in few seconds, I got a report telling me where I'm good and where I'm bad. And if you look at the report itself, you can see that what we're doing is we're showing you per each resource which tests failed and which tests succeeded. Now, let's go and see how it looks behind the scene. So once you scan, and I will show you what scanning means in a second, you have an option to send the results to the UI, to Kubescape Cloud. This is Kubescape Cloud. Basically what you get here is the ability to scan your YAML file, Helm charts, and customized files, no matter where you're running them, whether it's on your code repo, on your IDE, or on a full-fledged cluster. We do image scanning, so we scan your containers for open source vulnerabilities, and we give you the understanding and visibility of your role-based access control in Kubernetes. How does it work? Basically, we have this notion which is called controls and frameworks. A control basically is a test. And we have almost 190 tests that we're doing on your Kubernetes environment. And when I'm saying Kubernetes, I mean your manifest files, your worker nodes, and your API server settings, whether it's managed or unmanaged. So out of these 190 tests, we have something which is called frameworks. Basically, it's a group of tests. They are divided into industry standards, best practices, but you can create your own framework and you can decide what's important for you, for your organization. You can start small and you can grow it over time. That's exactly what I did when you saw that I was scanning with a framework called Dev. I called it Dev, and I collected the important stuff for me. Once you submit the results to the UI, you get this a nice report that gives you a lot of capabilities, and I will show you some. So, for example, this is a test that I ran before. You can clearly see the drift, so you can see in which test my team improved and made some remediation. I can go and I can say, I want to see all the resources that actually failed here. And you can see the resources and the resources name, and you can set them as exceptions. You can say, okay, I'm approving it, it's kosher, and you're able also to open a Jira ticket from here or share it with your friends on Slack. For each report, basically we have two types of views. One is the control view, where you see each test and the resources that failed on the test. And the other one is resource view. And basically in resource view, we show you the resource and we show you all the controls that failed on this specific resource. Now, If you click on this wrench, what you can see is you can see the resource itself, and you can see each control that failed and how to fix it. So for example, here, we're telling you this control is failing because you don't have a resource limitation. But if you add these lines to your YAML file, it will solve this problem. So we're not only showing you what are the issues, we're also telling you how to remediate them. And the important part is that you can use it across the entire software development lifecycle. So if you go to Kubescape, you go to the documentation, you can see that we have a lot of integrations. You can add Kubescape to your Visual Studio Code. You can add Kubescape in any CI/CD pipeline. You can set gates. You can decide that if something critical is failing, you will not progress to the next step. The second capability, and of course you can scan anywhere. You can scan in your IDE, you can scan your code repo. So for example here, I scanned my code repository, and you can see that I have this service, and you can see that in time things became worse. So you can see the number of vulnerabilities, and again you can see for each one of the resources how to fix the issues that Kubescape found. The next thing that we do is image scanning. And here you can see that basically what we do, we take your container images and we scan them for open source vulnerabilities. And you can decide that you want to focus on images that has critical and high severity, that has fix, and a remote code execution. We do find remote code execution to be much more interesting than any other vulnerability, and that's why we mark them and we give you the ability to go ahead and look at them. The last capability that, and again, you can do it on your cluster, or you can do it and point it to a specific registry. The last capability that I'm going to share with you is the RBAC visualizer. Here, basically, we're showing you how your role-based access control is set. You can use built-in queries to ask. For example, here I'm asking show me my cluster admins, and we are showing you it in a graph. You can ask questions like who can perform a certain task, like create, delete, and get nodes, and you can get the list and watch it. And the last thing that we give you is the ability to investigate. So for example, I can start with the user, like this user, and then I can ask, show me all the roles that this user has. And then I can ask to see all the capabilities. And that's how I can see the capabilities. And here, for example, this is a user in GKE, a built-in user in GKE that has a misconfiguration. You can see that for some reason, this user got to be a cluster admin, which of course, it doesn't have to be a cluster admin. So that's basically what Kubescape offers you right now. It's an open source project, so you can download it and use it. And we just got into a CNCF sandbox, so it's going to be part of CNCF. So, go ahead and try it. It's free up to 10 worker nodes. Enjoy.